Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and in this game unboxing video, we are checking out a brand new core set for Dark Souls, the board game from Steamforged Games. This is one of two brand new core sets, this one called Painted World of Ariamis, and we also have Tomb of Giants as well. I'll be unboxing that one in a separate video, and then we'll be taking a look at both of them and what they introduce inside of a game overview and gameplay video. But for now, let's go ahead and dig inside of this core set box, which aims to add even more into the Dark Souls the board game experience on top of revised rules for that original edition as well, with some changes that came from the community as well as developmental changes from the designers themselves. So really looking forward to seeing what has changed and being added in from these two core sets. So without further ado, let's dig into this one and find out. Trapped in the icy depths of a painted snowscape, the wretched souls loathed by gods and forsaken by the world have claimed their cage as sanctuary. This is the Painted World of Ariamis, where being both dragon and human holds sway. Priscilla the Crossbreed. What secrets and magic does the half-dragon keep? Be cautious as you traverse her frozen domain, for an entity feared by the gods must be powerful indeed. The World of Ariamis is a cooperative board game for 1 to 3 players where you take control of either a mercenary, sorcerer, or deprived as you progress through several chilling and inhospitable encounters, culminating in an epic boss battle against Crossbreed Priscilla herself. To be successful, you must work together, explore areas long devoid of all warmth, and defeat your enemies by learning their attack patterns and weaknesses, but be careful. If a character dies, the game doesn't end, but there will be a cost. If even one of you falls prey to bitter cold steel, the whole party must return to the bonfire and each encounter resets. Use your resources sparingly and learn quickly, and prepare to die. As you can see on the right-hand side, we've got 4 double-sided game tiles, 3 character boards, 3 token boards, a campaign dashboard, a rulebook, 15 dice, 169 cards, and 2 health dials. The first thing you'll find when you open up the box is the rulebook, as well as some punch boards down below, and you have a dashboard here. We're going to go through all those components. We'll start off with the rulebook. Inside of the book, you're going to see a table of contents laid out. You got an introduction on the right-hand side. You'll find all the game components laid out. This continues on to the next page, as well as some awesome looking artwork. Now it gets into the character dashboards here, the equipment slots. It talks about stat progression tracks, character tokens, and the endurance bar. Details are shown here around treasure cards, tiles, and nodes. Terrain is all listed out on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, that campaign dashboard. It now moves into choosing a character, setting up the dashboard, as well as the card decks, tokens, dials, and then getting into playing the game itself with the win and loss conditions. Now, as I'm going through the rulebook here, page by page, you're able to pause the screen if you wish to read anything. Here we have the campaign dashboard explained and the encounters. And it's worth mentioning that you're going to find out more about the changes from the original Dark Souls board game to these new core sets in terms of the rule differences and new mechanics built in with the game in my game overview video, which is coming up in the near future. It's also worth mentioning you might find that information inside the pinned comment and video description of this video and the next unboxing of the other core set too, but I want to just give you a heads up, I will be covering those aspects. So as you can see, going through the book, the rulebook has changed in terms of the original versus this new core set rulebook. And at this point, we're at the tail end of the rulebook, the last couple pages. Here it talks about the bonfire and returning to it, the blacksmith, resuming exploration, and losing the game is also mentioned here as well. A massive part of the game is around boss encounters. This is all laid out here. And that's going to do it. This wraps up the boss's turn and how the special rules work for them, how they are defeated. And the rulebook wraps up with a handy reference of icons on the back. Here's a look at the campaign dashboard, which has a lot going on. I'll go over the high-level aspects of this. On this side of the dashboard, you have a couple areas of note. The encounter decks sit on the left-hand side of the dashboard in 3 face-down decks. You have the spark dial slot, which you can see there on the right, and that's where the dial will sit. And then you have what is known as the encounter track, which starts on this left-hand side and works its way across to the right of this whole dashboard. Right in the center of the screen there, you have the soul cache area, then you have your inventory next to it, and then the treasure deck. Then you also have a blacksmith Andre item slots. There's a number of those going off to the right, even off screen. At the end of those item slots, you have an event deck, which is placed at the far right-hand side. You also have the timer track, which starts at 0 and goes all the way to the 19 down at the bottom. And you also have the ending of the encounter track. And of course, being that it is a campaign dashboard, the purpose is to keep track of your campaign as you move through the game. Now we're going to check out the punch boards that come inside the box. You're going to see some new characters that you can use when playing Dark Souls. We have the Mercenary here and a whole bunch of other tokens mixed in and dials. We'll go ahead and flip it over so you can see the opposite side. I'll show you the makeup of this character as well here on the back based on the tiers and the base levels across all of the different attributes like strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. We'll go on to the next one. We have the Sorcerer here. More tokens added into the fray, of course. And we'll flip this over, take a look at that. The stats on this one as well. And then finally, the last one is the Deprived, and that is the final character that comes inside of this one. So it's nice to see some additional character types or builds to be able to play through with. One of the most unique aspects of Dark Souls is the fact that you have these nodes, and that is how your individuals or enemies are moving around on the game board, which really provides a much more dynamic movement within a particular tile. If you know from many dungeon crawler-esque style games where you're moving from spaces, a tile of this size would typically be broken up into a 3x3 quadrant, which this is. As you can see, there is kind of a circle in each one of the quadrants, but there's also 4 in the middle. And this really adds a dynamic ability to change positions, making things very much like the video game in terms of kind of sneaking up on your opponent, hitting from behind, hitting from the side on a flank attack, like all those kind of things, plus just giving you more to do on each given tile. Now let's go through the rest of these tiles front and back. We have this one here, which you've already seen. Flipping over to the opposite side, a completely different look and feel. Again, some of these are going to relate to the boss battles as well, so keep that in mind. And then you have this one here. Looking over, again, a very cold region. We're getting into winter here in Canada very soon, so I'm going to be very familiar with this type of terrain in real life. And this is the final tile right here. Flipping it over, it looks like this on the back side. At this point, we now head back inside the box where all the miniatures are sitting. We'll go ahead and remove a tray or two. You'll see these are all organized individually. And then underneath, you have your packs of cards, all spaces provided for everything. Removing that top tray, and you can now see the decks of cards underneath. We'll go ahead and just lift a couple up. There's more cards underneath each of them as well. You've got dice under here. You've got extra baggies. You have some of these to help you with building out the dials, and you have miniatures. Now we're going to go through the miniatures first, then we're going to check out the cards, and that'll essentially wrap up the unboxing. We're going to see these up close. In terms of remaining components inside the box, we have a whole bunch of cards to go through still. There's a bunch of dice, of course, being a core set. We have one baggie here, and as you saw earlier, the individual connection pieces between the dials. And that, my friends, is going to conclude this unboxing for one of the two brand new core sets from Steamforged Games for Dark Souls, the board game. If you want to stay tuned to the channel, I'll be doing one for the Tomb of Giants as well, so you can see what's inside of that one. There are absolutely differences between the two core sets, so both provide content that you can add into your game. One of the biggest aspects of this brand new core set, and the other one, is the fact that the rule set has been revised in areas where it was a tad weak in the past. The community, as most of you know that have played Dark Souls, had tweaked some of the rules in order for them to work a little bit better, and so that feedback, along with the developers taking another look at the game itself, have come out with this kind of 2.0 version rulebook, which has likely covered a lot of the aspects that were kind of raised as red flags by individuals that picked up the game from the original crowdfunding campaign. Now, I'm really excited to kind of highlight those differences between the original core set and these core sets. However, I may not have that available in the video description and pinned comment of this video when it goes live. If I don't, then I will retroactively add it, or you will see it inside the next core set unboxing, or worst case beyond that, you'll see it in a game overview video I do of both of these core sets to help you make that informed decision as to whether or not these are core sets you want to dive into if you're brand new to the game, or if you are coming back to the game after not touching it for many years, or maybe you're just a die-hard fan who's been playing this every day, cannot wait to see these core sets and know what the differences are. I'll be aiming to cover all that for all of you in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.